Gentlemen, thank you all for coming. As you know, the LCS Championship is right around the corner. And that means the number of tickets is extremely limited. And demand is off the charts. And that's why we're gonna steal them. First things first, we're gonna need a team. The brains, that's me, obviously. Then we're gonna need muscle. That's Fudge. Gonna need a lookout. That's Agar. And we'll need a getaway. Pioshik. We're gonna need an Oxman. You're gonna be in charge of music the whole way there. A speedy carpenter in case we break anything. Guy who walks around with a ladder the entire time, so if anyone asks, he says we're with maintenance. Tax guy, that's you.
Did we rent this warehouse? Because this could be a write-off.
Human resources. Guy who acts as a therapist during the heist to make sure everyone's doing okay.
So how does that make you feel?
Guy who has really good snacks for no reason. Fall guy who's left holding the bag, takes all the blame,
Oh, come on.
and potentially faces serious jail time.
Wait, what?
Guy who is definitely gonna double cross everybody no matter what he says.
I love you all like brothers.
Guy who thought he was out, but we pulled him back in.
I'm getting too old for this.
Emily, wanna tag along?
Sure.
Master of disguise guy. Gotta have a wardrobe guy. Guy who doesn't give a about anything. Guy who looks great in a hat.
Oh, thanks, Kobe.
Someone who comes off calm, shy, even-keeled,
Hi, Kobe.
but underneath is a raging volcano. I think that's it. Heist is in 2 weeks. Until then, we've got work to do.
Hey, it says we could just buy tickets online here.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's super easy to buy them online.
All right. What if we just steal the trophy instead?
Welcome back, everybody, to the best match remaining today.
This is my favorite time of day.
It's always my
Let's
favorite
go.
of the remaining matches, the last one.
Yep. It's gonna be a
So
banger.
We have a couple things that we all want to talk about for why this is such an exciting match. For me, I'm talking about tactical because they played C9 last week and they should have won this game, especially with how good tactical was playing. This is my get tactical a team rant. He ended up like 6-3-6 or something like that. Yeah, he died at the end of the game because he didn't flash an Orianna shockwave, but it was already over because he was playing the rest of this game so well.
That didn't look over to me, but okay.
Well, I meant like that it hasn't
9
happened
kills
yet.
to 6.
When he dies at the Orianna shockwave flash that he didn't flash. Whatever. The point is, he's playing really good this split.
He is.
He is.
Not like all pro worthy. I'm not saying he's even like necessarily top half of the league, but he is playing pretty well. And like for the level he's playing at, you would expect the team to have more wins, but he needs some teammates.
Good thing you say that, because my best rating match of the day is Doublelift versus Tactical, because I actually fully agree.
Look at that damage per goal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to point out. So he is trying his best to carry this team. And a lot of the times, he is on some of these hyper carries that might not come online before everything else around the map starts to fall apart. I think this specific matchup is great because even with 100 Thieves struggles, Doublelift has also been performing really, really well. So given how 100 Thieves typically do default to a very slow style early, I want to see a game where both of these AD carries get their items and just go out in 5v5 fights. I think it could be really cool. I think they've both been playing really well.
Mine is an explanation of why this is the best remaining matchup today, other than the fact that it's the 5th game. So, 100 Thieves solo laners, let's take a look.
This is not the most.
This is not hype.
There's a lot of 8th, 9ths, and 10ths.
So yeah,
right?
Walk me through it, bro.
Where we going?
We'll get there. Keep it coming. We have more graphics. Let's look at their combined kills per minute, 100 Thieves as a team. So you can see 8th, 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 9th, 0.64.
That's the 3rd lowest in the entire world of major regions.
Wow.
Correct. Let's take a look at their gold at 8.
Okay.
All right.
Also low.
This is building to something. This is a
where are we
classic Jatt
going?
building
This
something.
team is playing against the 10th place team. There's tension here. They're close to 10th in a lot of these statistics. So this could be Immortals' chance to pick up a win. They don't do anything.
So who'd you predict to win?
Yeah.
Well, 100 Thieves, because I still don't think Immortals is going to win, but 100 Thieves doesn't do anything. It's going to be close.
This is really juicing me up, dude. I like this.
Anything can happen,
I'm
right?
hyped.
Anything
I'm
can
Not a
hyped.
foregone conclusion.
A team has to win.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily guaranteed to be 100 Thieves.
That's true.
Although
That
I
is
did
true.
predict it, Mark did not. Casters, take it away.
Man,
the hell was that? Thanks for sucking the energy out of the room, Jatt. What the hell? I was trying to hype myself up.
No, I feel like Mark was gaslighting us.
He was.
With the points because he's talking about like, yeah, all their other stats are bad, but we got these damage shares that are through the roof because the team's just putting all of the eggs in the basket for the AD carry. So I don't know, man. I'm interested to see what they think after this.
Hey, I'm buying the ego battle in the AD carry position.
Okay.
Like they've always, chatted each other back and forth, so that's nice to see, especially with, yes, both teams do want to play towards bot pretty heavily. IMT really hasn't found success getting out of the laning phase, and it hasn't been the fault of their bot lane, Tactical and Treatz. It felt like a lot of the times it's either a poor fight that was started the last game I saw in the river, where they did get pulled in and lose before 8 minutes even hit, or their solo lanes getting kind of gapped. So we need to find something new for the team. There has been a new idea for IMT, which is just playing comfort.
Okay.
Bolulu, last we saw, Vel'Koz and Zoe, and he played Zoe in what felt like a pretty poor matchup, but actually won the lane out versus the Tristana. So I'm liking the idea as long as it's finding success in the early game. That's what IMT needs to focus on.
Well, we got Kindred, Poppy, Melio, Tristana, LeBlanc, and Jace all banned away. Man, my eyes are locked on the junglers in this game. I think Closer and Kenvi have both been having just a super rough split. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think they're both towards the bottom of the tier list if you were to rank all 10 junglers. So both of these guys need to step up. Wherever they're at right now, step up. Then step up again. I need to see better, bigger, badder performances out of both these guys.
We need apple boxes right in front of them so they can actually actively step up.
Yes, exactly. I need these dudes on the level, and Neeko made it through the bans, so Bolulu going to be piloting that one here again for Immortals. So I don't agree with Mark that Immortals should have won that game against Cloud9. I think that was a little bit of a stretch, but I do agree that Neeko is a champion that can give you all sorts of wild advantages because this champ is super strong, especially with Rell. Rell goes in or Neeko goes in, the other one follows up immediately. This is some team fight wombo combo here.
This is what we need from IMT. So easy engage options, like you said, and even though 100 Thieves let that open, probably to give Quid the Azir matchup that he likes so he can have the range there, and they can try to play that kind of game. Still, IMT kind of needed this. Also just giving space for Tactical to actually operate in fights. So that's a +1. Love it, especially with Rell being a flex pick now. Saw a little bit of it in the Challengers League. We saw UG pick that up. We saw this pick earlier today from Contract. So I'm a big fan of the new flex. I would love to see more being done with it.
All right, Rakan locked in. I like the engage mechanism. You're going to need one of those if you're up against Rell and Neeko. The super high priority on Kai'Sa, too. I was a little bit surprised by for 100 Thieves, but hey, they've got faith in it. Viego locked in. This is one of Closer's staples. You're talking about Immortals wanting to play for some comfort. Well, 100 Thieves is saying, all right, Closer, some of your best moments ever in LCS have been on the Viego. Let's run it.
We're checking boxes, Flowers. We're checking boxes. And oh, the Nocturne pick. So I was interested in this because I'll talk about Kenvi to start, which is last year we were like, okay, the Graves game, that's what everyone kind of blows up and talks about. This is the type of game we want to see from Kenvi. When he was brought up from the Challengers League to the LCS, he was essentially a carry player, a carry jungler, a Lee Sin, Kindred, Graves, anything. Team funnels gold into him. That's when he was on 100 Thieves Academy. And that's the success that he's found down there. Now, he's been a little bit of a meta slave, so he'll pick stuff like Sejuani if his team needs it, but a lot of the times his lanes are moving around him and he's not actively looking for plays. So this one is great. Easy, at 6, go button that he can click and work for this team. The only concern that I have is I actually really like what 100 Thieves are cooking up here so far. Now we got Rakan, which is Busio's best pick and actually has a really high win rate in the LCS at the moment. And Viego, once again, does quite well. If you can blow up a pick that's trying to dive on you and start to get resets going.
Don't do it, Sam. That's a lot of shots, man.
Sam! He's concerned.
I'm concerned for him. Holy moly, man. All right, Malphite and Renekton are banned out. No Croc. I'm happy.
That's a nice thing.
I'm happy, man. Whenever a pick just becomes every single game, I get sick of seeing it. I'm always happy to see Tristana's picture in black and white these days, too. I'm just like, pick something else.
Throw K'Sante in there as well. Anytime we see a K'Sante Renekton pick, I'm puking inside.
That was pretty crazy.
I'm just putting that out there. And I had to say inside because we have people out here. I don't think they want the image.
Man, I would appreciate if you did not do it for real here at the caster desk.
I'm looking at you when it happens.
I will vote against that one all the time. Jinx is banned out. Ari's banned out. I'm not going to comment on this unless they lock it in because I'm
going to take the risk.
I've been baited too many times. No, it's just going to be... I mean, if we get this, we at least get the breakup bot lane. Xayah versus Rakan.
Yeah.
Okay, breakup bot lane head-to-head. Let's go.
It's a little heartbreaking, but we'll take it. You know, I would take Rakan's... I agree with Rakan's choice here. I'm just putting that out there. Take that what you will. Do you think
Rakan made an upgrade?
He did make a slight upgrade.
Well, let's see. Immortals drafted Rakan's X, and 100 Thieves is probably going to lock in the chicken because they do this a lot. This is Quid's #1 pick by, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a large margin.
Yeah.
A large marge.
A large marge.
Well,
Jack's hover is an interesting one. Usually when you see yourself going blind here, your team wants to go front to back, see this already, I'd go Scion, something like that. But not going to be, this is going to be more fun. I actually appreciate this a little bit more.
Yes.
You need to unleash Ssumday here with the Jax pick.
Unleash Ssumday. I still remember some of the Jax plays this guy has made in the past. Crazy quadra kills and 1v3s and all sorts of stuff. I hope we get to see it here again. But what does Solo want to take into him? Solo is not afraid to read from the book of Dokla and pick Ornn and sit under a turret.
People have been reading that book. Someone read that book in the LCS a little bit earlier. Then we see Dokla reading that book. People are winning off this novel.
Well, that's what Solo's going for. It's only got a 44% win rate, so he's hoping to bump those numbers up a little bit. Immortals is currently not even at that, man. They are at a 16.6 win rate. That is not good. That is not good.
You do that in your head?
Yeah.
Okay, just
because
sure.
2 out of 10 is 1/6.
That is, yes.
Yeah.
That is actually very
Yeah. See, that's easy. That's easy,
okay,
man.
You know what? That's understandable.
Easy.
Now do 100 Thieves quick.
100 Thieves is what? 5 and 7?
Yeah.
So that's 5 out of 12, which is 41.5.
All right, good shit. This guy is actually really good when it comes to bats. I'm just putting it out there. But for IMT side, very easy front to back composition. It does not do very well versus Azir. That's the only question I have. So it's going to be a bit of a Quid game. But so far, liking it. Want to see some action from specifically Kenvi at 6, hard farm, get there, and I want to see if he looks for a play bot side to get Treatz out of lane. Because even though a lot of times, like, yes, you're putting gold into the pockets of tactical, getting Treatz to actually get to roam and participate across the map is something that I often saw a lot of value on when he was in the LEC. So things like that to start to really put pressure on 100 Thieves in the early game would be nice.
I just want to see Immortals find something that works, man. They're on a 10-game slide. That's so tough. It's just like, that's more than an entire round robin of slide.
Yeah.
They need to get their footing back a little bit because the boys are plummeting right now, and hopefully this could be their turnaround point. Like Jatt said, it's not a given that 100 Thieves wins this one. Immortals, I know a lot of people are betting against them in a lot of their matchups, but 100 Thieves has been a little shaky.
And a lot of it was through mid jungle as well. Okay, they end up getting caught off that one. But a lot of it was through mid jungle as well. Remember, they started the split with Nuke Duck in the lineup. Then, you know, Quid starts on the LCS stage. His first week did attribute it to nerves. He's played a little bit better since then. His best game was versus Ruby. And then they got their coach finally from Korea. So that's nice to see that they actually have everyone in-house. So a lot of them was just saying, we just didn't have our team ready, essentially. So that's the excuse they can make. But now they actually get to start building up on that one. Closer needs to start really working through Quid a little bit more. That has been the real hole on the team, is just not really finding a lane that he can reliably play through. And Ssumday, who was really the pick for him in the past.
Bolulu's trying to trade with Quid here. Okay, he hit the blooming blows that time. He missed the first one, so it didn't work out too well trading with the soldier. Tactical and Treatz versus Doublelift and Busio. Just about to face check the brush here. Level 100 Thieves do not want anything to do with it. All right, Raz, let's play a guessing game. Who's getting first blooded this game?
Ooh.
Where's the action going to pop off first?
I think it's going to happen to mid. So I think Bolulu is going to be the one that dies. Going to be an angle once bot lane bases and Busio goes mid, and he's probably going to catch Bolulu off the wave. So
okay,
it's going to be something like that. It's very specific, but that's the fun in it.
No, exactly. The more specific you are, the more Chad it is if you get it right.
Okay,
so
I'm ready then.
Hopefully, we'll see some magic happen there, and hopefully for me at least, I want to see things happen early, especially when we're looking at teams that are not at the top of the table. Because I've always observed, you know, in the past in LCS, sometimes the top teams are just like, we don't have to play super aggressive early. We're just better players. We can outscale you, whatever.
Yeah.
I still hate it, but I understand it. If you're at the bottom of the table, I want to see you playing fast and loose. I want to see you getting scrappy. I want to see you messing with people. And for Immortals, that's where they're at, and that's what I want to see them do. Put the pressure on. Make the game crazy. Make it chaotic. Make it harder to predict so you've got a better shot.
Sad thing is, they're probably going to have to give up the blue. So, we're pausing.
No.
Yeah, we don't want to deal with the blue start. So, kind of unfortunate, guys.
Okay, well, we'll have to see what really happens. Unfortunately, for all of you watching at home, I don't really have anything to comment on because of the fact that we're 3 minutes into the game, and there hasn't really been a whole lot happening. So, how have you been, Raz?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah?
Didn't have breakfast.
You
So
didn't
that
have,
kind of thing.
Did you have any lunch? It's like... Hold on.
I did the worst. You know, okay, so
it's almost 6 p.m.
Flowers, okay, I did have lunch.
Okay.
Recently, so that's good. But you know this. I will buy something, like my classic McDonald's at midnight.
Okay.
Then I won't eat the burger, but it was like, it's nice as an afterthought.
Why did you buy it?
Because for the, you know, the insurance policy, just in case I need it. So I don't make another call. I'm not going to make another call. Yeah, it's an insurance burger. So I also did actually buy breakfast.
Okay, but you didn't eat it.
I didn't eat it. Because at the time, I didn't need it. So it was an insurance breakfast.
Didn't need it, didn't eat it. Okay,
Yes.
so you got insurance breakfast, and where is it? Is it like left in the green room behind?
I have to rack my brain on that. I think it's in my backpack. Which is
You just got, man, what? You just stuffed it in your backpack?
Yeah, that was a great thought in the morning in case I need it, and now it's just in my backpack, which is a risky thing to do generally, not in just this studio during the summer when the ants can come at you. But I've been here's story time, just because we haven't really much to talk about in this game. So let's just say there was once upon a time I was in the LPL in Australia. And Australia, known for bugs, specifically ants. I was living in a 4-story building, but it did not matter. Any pastry that I had in my backpack, just like, oh, I'm going home from work. Oh, I didn't need it. Going to bed, wake up, trail of ants from all holes of the building.
Why would you not put it in, like, somewhere safe at night if you know the ants are going to attack?
I thought it was safe. It's in a box in my backpack, double sealed. And it went up 4 stories for my treat. I'm just putting that out there.
The ants. Oh, well, speaking of bugs, I've been informed by production that we are investigating one in-game, and that's the reason for the pause. Oh,
that
sounds like someone has DC'd.
Good luck with the lever buster on that one, bud.
Do you think wait, do they have lever buster on Tournament Realm? I don't think they do.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
Can you imagine? I wonder if you can actually report people in post-game on Tournament Realm, and if anybody reads those reports.
Someone has to follow up on the report if that's the case.
But I really want to see that now. I would just love to see if there have ever been reports on Tournament Realm. Because, you know, most of the time it's played on by pros. But sometimes we have other events on there, right? We have, like, collegiate events. We have Academy Tier 2 events. There's a lot more players than just the 50 guys that are on the LCS teams. So what happens if 2 guys have beef and they want to report each other?
And where does the report go to? What happens if you follow up? You just ban them on stage. These are great, relevant question, guys. We just had someone who left the game.
Kick people out on the stage.
Just putting that out there.
Oh, man. Yeah, we don't have any update on the time on when we're going to be back live for the game, but investigations are ongoing. Hold on. So after this, we've got 5 days left of regular season play for LCS before we get to the playoffs. Playoffs is 8 teams.
Yes.
So it's, you know, vast majority make it in. But for Immortals, I actually don't know. And I don't know if you know off the top of your head how many more they can lose before they're auto out, because they're walking dangerously close to the cliff, man.
It's tough. I don't know off the top of my head, but especially after these games, I need to know. I need to check in. Because especially on the last week, usually it gets a little clowny when you know you're completely out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
When maybe roster choices happen, but mostly that's when people start to play a little bit for fun. So let's hope that IMT pick up a win or two so we get some more exciting games.
It's always more fun when there's something on the line, right? Yeah. Whenever somebody's locked or eliminated already and they're just kind of goofing around, that's not nearly as entertaining. I love it when you know that your spot's on the line and you got to play your heart out for it. But Quid is unfortunately not having a great time here mid versus Bolulu and the Neeko. He's going to be forced to take a recall here nice and early, as that will be the first teleport used back to lane so far this game. Nobody else has had to use that just yet, so here we go. The chicken returns to the mid lane. He doesn't really miss out on a whole lot thanks to the TP. And yeah, we're chilling. Kenvi pathing through the enemy jungle, seeing if he can get around these guys in the bot lane. Maybe force out some action in a 3v2. Nice engage coming out from Treatz there with a crash down. Does bring her over the wall. Doublelift has nowhere to flash. Kenvi's just sitting where he would be, and tactical, ready for the flash follow to kill Doublelift for first blood.
Didn't even seem like they needed Kenvi there. He got in an awkward spot because he was identified, and so he was basically being walked around, but still. Nice kill being picked up here by Tactical. Used both sums, but nailed it.
I mean, Kenvi was there for just blocking the path, right? Yes. He makes it so Doublelift can't flash over that wall to get away, and it was Treatz who started this off. Gallop, gallop, slam.
Few flash, and then he was able to get the lockdown here. Really well done by Treatz, and this is what we wanted. This is what I expected from IMT when they started out the split. Play towards bot lane. Treatz is going to start the fight. This was an angle, and great job from IMT to be able to lock it down with Kenvi and Treatz.
Well done, well done. Now, back up topside, Solo, the Ornn, leading the charge with a massive wave of minions. So now Jax just has to hang back and farm them off. You can see Solo does have a CS lead right now, but there's more than 7 minions here, so Ssumday should be able to make up most of that difference and just pick these guys up. There it is, sleeps back over to that one, maximizing the CS.
But across the board, a much better early game here from IMT. Not only are they picking a little bit better for lanes, but also they're playing respectfully, so they're not getting caught out by bad trades. Solo really early on, I know the Observer wasn't looking topside because, understand, it's completely boring. But like, he didn't take any trades, he didn't farm any CS up until the wave was crashing under his turret, and there was no option for a dive. So that's something where they got caught off last time, like when Solo went up against Fudge and then got solo kill because he went for a poor trade, or just a dive coming in from the opposing team. No option there, but IMT is going to be contesting a fight here for Dragon.
Okay, Drake down to about 1,000 HP. We could get the smite fight for it, but Immortals choosing to focus the players from 100 Thieves instead and stealing away the Drake. 100 Thieves just lost 3 dudes and an objective. Immortals ran them over.
Oh my god, they got walked in on. Quid wasn't there to basically help out. 100 Thieves thought it was going to be a clean one, at least be able to secure a smite fight. None of the above happened. Really well done from Kenvi, Treatz, and Tactical collapsing on them. I want to see that one more time.
That was good. All right, yeah, we're going to have to get a replay of that one, as Immortals are now up over 2,000 gold 6 minutes into the game. Call them 97 Thieves now, because these 3 dudes just got murdered.
That was a great setup from Treatz. Got a double stun, a great knock-up with his W, and Closer was left alone, basically, to try and burn this one down, and just got completely taken out by Bolulu. So you can see the awkward case from Quid. He could not enter the fight at all, and the bot lane from 100 Thieves was nowhere near there.
That was bad news, Bears, man. I do believe that Bolulu was 6 with Quid still being 5, just slightly off the EXP marker for having his own ulti. So that's going to influence the fight a lot. Kenvi was actually down 1 level compared to Closer, but the 4 versus 5 level difference is way smaller than the 5 versus 6 because of the impact of the ultimate.
Looking like a good game here, Flowers. For IMT.
For Immortals, for 100
I gotta
Thieves,
clarify.
no.
I have to clarify. For IMT, their best game, as you mentioned, 10-game losing streak, the fact that they were trying literally everything, better early game to see if they can try to get to those mid-game team fights. We're losing in lane anyways. Tried to play a lot more of a scaling composition. Didn't happen. I just think that they're flatly playing better in both solo lanes, and Kenvi being able to have a good early game plan and strategy to wrap around enemy jungle and get a pick on towards bot side of the map. So seems like they're on the same page, and it's nice to see from IMT at this point of the split.
Yeah, Immortals still waiting to get that jungler level 6 before we can start seeing some of those paranoia plays. Closer level 6 himself, but now we got a bit of a problem, man, because see, they're so far behind. 2,000 gold at 7 minutes is pretty meaningful.
Yeah.
It's harder to make those plays for a Viego who wants to be able to go in, get these resets, burst somebody down fast. Well, it's a pretty tough job description when things have been going this badly.
That's going to be the challenge here. Either you can find a play from Busio for a pick, or as the game goes on, you kind of rely on Quid a little bit more with his Azir shuffle. So there's a few ways for them to still make plays. Closer's not going to be the one that leads the charge. But I want to see how they play around Rift Herald. Because right now, 100 Thieves, I don't think want to take a fight whatsoever with how well IMT... Oh, here we go.
Oh, man. Treatz is already going in, and they got Nocturne over the top. Paranoia claims another one as Treatz gets the kill credit. It's Doublelift dead for the 3rd time this game. Immortals has their sights set on him, and they got plenty of bullets.
This is getting painful for 100 Thieves right now. Sure, they're going to trade for Rift Herald, but that's just going to be way more gold now in Tactical's pockets as he starts shipping at plates.
Closer's gonna grab the Herald, so that'll be at least something, but man, Immortals is running the show here in bottom lane. Look at that massive amount of minions. At least there's the cannon there, so Doublelift's not gonna miss out on both of them, but Immortals wanna make sure that these guys are hurting. Nice use of the W there from Kai'Sa. Doublelift knows that Immortals wanna put even more hurt on him, but they're just blocking him away. The cannon minion has gone. Yes. It has passed. Now it is killing all of the littler ones. Doublelift is going to show up in time to get like 2 minions here.
Oh, God.
Are done. They brought Bolulu too. Doublelift arrives for his own funeral. Just put him in a hearse at this point. 7-0 for IMT. Quid with a shuffle tries to get one back. Kenvi tanks the turret for a long time, and Quid walks away with 12 health.
This is getting disgusting from IMT. I thought 4 was going to be enough, or 3 was going to be enough. But you're right, Bolulu comes through, and the TP timer from Quid was going to take way too long for him to be there by the time Doublelift and Busio has passed. They could have waited a little bit longer for Closer, who was making a path from Rift Herald to bot side, so he was on the way. But you would have lost so many minions at that point. So take a look at this. As you can see in the minimap, Viego is making a track there, but really well done for Bolulu to come in and help out the team to make this a done deal dive.
Man, this is just... They particularly want to make sure Doublelift does not get to play the game. They were looking at those stats that Mark was pulling up before the game, being like, oh, battle of the AD carries. And then they are just ganging up on Doublelift. Every time he's on the screen, they want him off the screen.
It's an ego battle. It's probably the best ego battle. It's a relatable ego battle. I remember in like elementary school, junior high, when you haven't beef with somebody and you're like, oh yeah, you want to fight? Okay, 3 o'clock. And you're just worried that the other guy is going to bring more members. He's going to bring some of his cousins, his brother, or whatever. And you're like, you know what? I got to bring more of my friends or I am done for. Because no one cares about whether or not the other guy had more people. They just care about who got beat up. That's all that matters.
The 100 Thieves tier 1 turret in bot lane is the flagpole after school, and everybody's just meeting up to have a scrap. Yep. And it's Doublelift who's constantly on the receiving end of the punches. Bad times for 100 Thieves in the bot lane, and they're not getting anything back anywhere else. Closer's up here on the top side. Remember, he still has this Herald, but it's about to expire, so you're just going to have to drop it for plates, I think. Solo can smell something's up. He's going to walk away from this one. Meanwhile, down in bottom lane, Doublelift and Busio just can't even play it anymore. This one's going to drop to Tactical. He's going to get solo gold on it. The Xayah is so far ahead. Observers, if we could swap to see the gold, I want to see just how far ahead he is. Nearly double Doublelift's gold. 3,200 versus 6K. Herald Summit up top side. They're going to get this down below 1 plate at least. Solo trying to stick around here, but he wants to be careful, doesn't want to just let him run away with it. They will not have enough damage to burst down that last plate because of the extra protection, so Solo keeps the turret standing for now. Immortals also getting their 2nd Drake of the game totally uncontested from that bot lane control.
Yeah, Solo understands his role here perfectly. Understood the assignment 2 times in a row where he could have been the dive angle and says, I'm not going to do that. In fact, I'm going to stare your jungler down.
I mean, you look at bottom lane, you're up 35 CS, 3-0 and 3 versus 0-4 and 0. Mid lane's converting into another kill now as well with another Nocturne ulti on top of Tactical picking up the money. All you have to do as Ornn is not int. If you don't int, this game is free.
He's doing an S+ performance there at not inting. It's a great sign. He's able to come up a little tankier now, comes back with the Sunfire cape, but this is getting ugly. Got ugly. I should just say that. It got ugly about 5 minutes ago.
Tactical is now an entire Gale Force ahead of his opponent. He has Gale Force Kraken versus normal Kraken. They both have free-ass boots. And then Cookies and Ward versus Refillable. It's an entire mythic item difference in the AD carry role.
This is when you try to put your minds together and be like, can we play for literally anything on the map?
What is our objective?
What can we get? Because they would naturally try and get gold onto Doublelift's pockets, put him on the opposite side of the map. That hasn't been the case. It feels like they've been doing a great job matching him, so that he is still denied. And so now it's forcing 100 Thieves to try and put gold onto either Quid or Ssumday. And so that would be a great strategy, especially as we came into this game with an expectation that the Azir is going to be able to put in work against this composition. But now, the front line is way too strong from Treatz and Solo. So if a larger fight is to come up, now they have to fight for third dragon. There's no way for 100 Thieves to try and trade away from that. Unless if you're willing to lose soul, which is a no.
Yeah, you really don't want to give that away, especially not a freaking infernal soul, man. It couldn't even spawn him with like one of the lesser souls. It had to give him the you die faster one in a game where you're already dying fast. Immortals is looking good here with 15 seconds left before the plates fall this game. They farmed a lot of money off of them in the bottom lane, but not a whole lot anywhere else, to be quite honest. Only a single plate taken in the mid lane, none taken top side, as Solo has just been sitting under the turret the entire time. And a similar story being told for 100 Thieves. Yes, they knocked down the top lane tier 1, but mid and bottom are unaffected.
Take a look at this. So IMT right now are just trying to secure gold, which means they're just completely overloading the top side of the map, giving up the bottom lane turret, just saying, hey, you know what? Ornn, farm mid. It's going to be Bolulu that's actually going to be losing out in a bit of farm, but because we can guarantee the top lane play, that's fine for us. Even though it's not an optimal idea, you want to have Ornn on the bottom side to try and soak whenever he can, but they don't want to take that risk. They are so far ahead of the game right now that it does not matter to them now. 2 minutes until the next dragon comes up. This is where, in my mind, 100 Thieves need to find a good fight. Something where Quid, before that IMT sets up, if he can get an Azir second, whoever tries to fight through mid lane wave, that would be the best angle. But they have to give up Herald. So now that's another Herald you have to fight against as Drake is spawning. So, don't have an answer for you now.
All right, well, it looks like the only game plan here for 100 Thieves is put all your hopes and dreams in the Ssumday bucket. It's a Jack split push or we lose type of game, because nobody else is going to win here in these actual fights up against a 4-0 and 3 Xayah, Neeko 1-0 and 4, Nocturne on 1-0 and 7, 100% KP for the Nocturne and nearly as much on the Xayah and Rell both. But Ssumday is in the side lane and he is bopping turrets.
Yeah, he's not just splitting, he's rage splitting. He's not going to be, you're not going to be seeing him.
Walk down lane like a minion, start hitting that stuff.
And hope they make a few more mistakes. Much like Cloud9 when they almost found a win at the very tail end of the game. Hopefully you find the same amount of mistakes Cloud9 found versus Team Liquid. But the setup here is pretty decent from IMT. There is a ward behind them that should get cleared out. Probably won't get cleared up.
There's Unleashed Teleport available for both Ssumday and Quid. Also Unleashed Teleport available for Bolulu and Solo, but I expect Immortals to be the ones that are first on the scene. Second Herald, summoned up here in mid. Tactical's already done enough damage to the turret. The charge alone will kill it off. So there's the third turret of the game for Immortals. All 3 tier 1. It's cleared away from 100 Thieves now, as they've still got total control over the bot side. River, Quid now on split push duty up here on the top side, but Solo is ready to once again take his appointed position as designated Ornn player and sit under the turret.
As Bolulu takes the position as a minion, just in case anyone wants to contest it.
Gotta count those minions, man.
Doing a good job as a minion. It's probably hard to count as... Hey, where are you going?
Rogue minion! All right.
He becomes sentient.
He knows that they're not going to walk up to this one. That's just a free Drake over to IMT. They're on soul point just before 17 minutes. That means if everything goes according to plan, it'll be Infernal Soul 22 minutes into the game, man.
All right. This time around, IMT recognized they don't need to overload for something like that. They already have a great position around Drake. And Bolulu was going to hide in fog just in case 100 Thieves were going to contest. Didn't happen, so that's a positive. 100 Thieves still trying to get gold on the map, and I think it was a good call for Quid to just be top lane, just in case. Hey, if we have a winning situation bot side, then you can TP. Otherwise, you're free to just farm. So he's getting a little bit closer to his items, but just a bit of bucket of popcorn chicken there.
The junglers, both junglers, have more money than the 100 Thieves mid laner and bot laner. Only Ssumday is up there on the gold charts, so these fights are not going to exist if 100 Thieves has their way. And that's kind of what I'm looking at Immortals for here. The gold lead hasn't ballooned. They've got Drake control, and that's nice. And if they can convert that to the soul, cool, then it'll all be worth. But they're not building this gold lead any further than it was back before the turrets fell back before the lane assignments were swapped around, right? So it's up to Immortals to keep pushing this forward. It's up to Immortals to take advantage of this lead, because 3,000 gold at 18 minutes means way more than 3,000 gold at 45 minutes. So I want to see this team make some decisive calls here.
That is a very good point, as we see Ssumday just pushing solo out. Shouldn't be too much damage as he's right next to his second-tier turret, but to the point that you're making, that's actually credit to, as you've mentioned, 100 Thieves are trying to even out gold and trade sides in the map whenever they can, put gold into Ssumday and Quid whenever they can, and also Doublelift picking up mid-lane minion waves, because it's just really hard to punish, it seems, and if they try to wrap around them, they have good defensive vision, just in case. So all of these things are a positive for 100 Thieves. The only thing that is a negative is the dragon stacking. So you can only do this for so long. And so now, Judgment Day comes in 3 minutes. IMT, maybe 100 Thieves decide we're so, we feel like we're far behind, so we don't fight for it, but they have to. So you can already see that they're contesting red side jungle at least to get some defensive vision down.
How do we feel about the vegan Azir build? I know that this falls under a lot of scrutiny online practically every time it's built. Crown of the Shattered Queen is not a community favorite to be built on the Emperor, so that's the option Quid's gone for this game. How do we feel about that?
I like Leandre's more, but I think in a game like this where he is going to be the target with Nocturne engage and there's not that much poke coming in from IMTs to just pop it off, it is not that bad. I think it's okay. Still would like Leandre's because he's going to be the sole damage dealer going up against pretty beefy lineups like obviously the Ornn from Rell. So I think at least in those instances, that's the people you're going to hit.
All right, they're going in. They finally want to find their fight. Bolulu's got some CC. Pop, Blossom. Tactical goes unstoppable, and Quid goes down. Immortals finding a pick on the enemy mid laner. Unfortunately for them, Baron's still not alive for another 15 seconds, so they can't try to turn it directly into a Baron conversion right now. They'll take the reset instead. T-minus 2 minutes until Infernal Soul Judgment Day.
You know, the sad thing was Crown helped him for the first second of that engage. And then it popped off.
And then it only lasts so long.
Yeah, so that's a little unfortunate. But he was alone on the top side of the map, so not much you could do there. But you can kind of see the idea of if they are going to engage on him and if 100 Thieves are actually there to defend him and take the fight, then it makes sense. So let's see if he can get to his Nashor's Tooth before this next objective, then that's going to be the best fight that they could take.
Alrighty, boys. Let's see if 100 Thieves can stop the war machine from Immortals. Ssumday's trying to get the top lane pushed out. Unleash teleports available for all 4 solo laners across the teams here. You can see a 1-level advantage for Bolulu in mid, 1-level advantage for Ssumday up there in top. And what is this? Solo is getting close to the point where we're going to start seeing those Ornn upgrades come through. Right now, there are no Ornn upgrades available just yet. You can see he doesn't actually have his own mythic yet, since Sunfire is no longer a mythic.
Happens.
But yeah, that happens sometimes.
Okay. Thing to make note of is a lot of the times you get picked off on sides or something, you want to make a desperate escape. You know, usually you burn flash, not a good idea. Quid held on to his flash. In fact, 100 Thieves are playing well to not burn sums if they are getting picked off. So now it sets them up pretty damn well for the next fight. They know this next fight is going to be what matters, so it's nice to see. Of course, taking in this wave shallow because you never know if it's just Bolulu or if it's someone right next to him.
Right.
Most of IMT are actually right next to mid lane, but they're just camping this place out. So that's their part of the map now.
This is so deadly for 100 Thieves to try to approach it. TP coming in. Quid's ready to join up with the team, but what is this? A teleport from Immortals off to the side. Immortals is ready to go in. They pop the Nocturne ulti. The Ornn horn sounds off. Counter engage from Busio, but it won't find anything. Ssumday here in the stasis, staying alive a moment longer as the Sun Disc is summoned. Neither side finding a kill from that one, but Busio lost his ulti, lost a huge chunk of HP. Doublelift lost the ghost. Closer had to flash out as well. One teleport committed from both sides, bringing their mid laners into the fight, and now Immortals have successfully kept 100 Thieves out of a spot where they can fight, and Immortals will get a 22-minute Infernal Soul.
There it is. It does the trick. Was a little concerned to see if 100 Thieves could take the fight back to them, knowing that Bolulu did TP off to Zimbabwe. So I was like wondering, hey, you're a little far away from the team, but it wasn't really required. So really great win from IMT. The only concern, is somehow they muck up with Elden. Right?
Okay.
Just putting that in your back of your head, just in case it happens.
Ssumday is popping the ulti. He wants to fight solo. He knows there's no Ornn horn.
Oh, that's a long track back.
Beating him like a loot pinata. Flash follow, nicely done. Ssumday gets the first kill of the game for 100 Thieves, 22 minutes and 49 seconds in.
It's a long way home from solo, too. Seems like the strategy of putting gold in Ssumday's pockets is working out well for them.
Well, unfortunately, that is still just the first kill they've got. We'll see if they can turn it into anything else. They're going for the big play. They want Baron now.
It's flip a clock.
Let's see it. Immortals, they just need to stop him. You don't have to do anything super crazy. Remember, the Jax does not have his flash. He does not have his ulti. Keep your eyes on Bolulu and Treatz. Those are the guys to go in. Magnet Storm to start it off. Ssumday's already dead. Quid tries to go for an outplay with a Shurima shuffle, but it won't work. Tactical has killed Closer. Doublelift trying to do anything, fighting back against these guys. Treatz and Kenvi are thinking about the Baron as Doublelift swoops back in with a killer instinct, but now Bolulu might be ready to take him down. Doublelift still looking for it. Flash into the missiles, but it won't do a thing. All he does is get Treatz. Immortals brings Solo into the fight as it finishes, and now they're the ones starting up the Baron.
Oh, it was worth a try from 100 Thieves. Got the pick on a Solo, so they thought they could at least force a flip or a better fight, but Kenvi is able to take down Ssumday, who is getting way too low from the Baron itself. And let's take a look at the positioning Treatz was taking, pushing Doublelift off, so he was forcing him right to the rest of his team. But here it is. Treatz goes in, sets him up. Ssumday goes down through Kenvi, and Bolulu actually, that's a real nice pick here. Great ulti. Yeah. So really tough from 100 Thieves. I could see the play. That was the best one they could go for off of Ssumday's pick, but really close here too from Doublelift, but nice flash from Kenvi, not giving an option here.
Yeah, Kenvi flashing away so he doesn't die to the autos or the Acathian Rain. Makes it pretty easy for then Immortals to swoop in, bring in Solo. And while we were watching the replay, they completed the Baron. So now they've got Solo, they've got Baron. They are totally in control of the game, 14-3 up against 100 Thieves. Looking to finally break this 10-game loss streak. That's what I'm talking about, man. They might finally just get a little bit of footing here in the league, close to the end.
Yeah, it's perfect time to do it. Cinematic entry from IMT. Second last week to be able to show what you've been doing in practice, and it really is coming together for IMT, that is. They got 4 people down bot lane. They have, let's see, looks like Azir is actually just trying to trade as much gold as he can topside. They might end up giving inhibitor turret for this.
Okay. Immortals is not slowing down. Solo is walking towards them slowly but certainly. The Ornn is making his way down here. We've got the Gale Force upgraded for tactical. Solo with his Jack Show has that upgraded as well. Quid does take out the tier 2 turret there on the top side. Still a 5,500 gold lead for Immortals. 100 Thieves needs their mid laner back, and they need him back yesterday. Nexus turrets are under pressure. Demolish, not gonna proc. Tactical's got to be careful here. He's the closest one to Ssumday. That's generally not where Immortals wants him, but he can regroup in time because Ssumday can't just engage on his own.
Lulu did a great job marking Busio just in case he wanted to go for an engage as Quid was coming back. It's not going to be an option. This is a pretty thin wave, but it's a cannon minion wave, and they're going to go for it.
Ornn sum it up. There's Bolulu's engaged with a flash pop blossom. He's on a rampage, and Quid is dead again. Ssumday tries to find an entry into the fight, but he's immediately killed. Nobody else is around. There's no backup. There's no way out for 100 Thieves. Closer gets killed off. Double kill for Tactical. Everybody wearing 100 Thieves colors hits the ground. And Immortals with a quadra kill for Tactical will finally end their loss streak and claim their 3rd win of Summer 2023.
That is something IMT should feel proud about. Their cleanest game all split long. Even if their wins, even in their wins in their first week, kind of felt a little muddy. This one, it felt like whatever was happening in practice in the gulag was coming together.
Man, Immortals, they got to be happy about that one. They had one plan early, and it was go after Doublelift. And they executed, they waited a second, they executed again, they waited for him to walk back, and then they executed again.
They kept multiplying. First it was the gank from Kenvi, then it was a dive from 4 people. They just kept coming again and again, and guess what? IMT is reaping the benefits of their hard work. It's easy to feel down and depressed for what was a 10-game losing streak, but man, with a performance like this is something you should feel proud of.
Yeah, Treatz finding a lot of good engages that time. Tactical playing well with the advantages that they build up for him, making sure he was providing all the damage there in the fights. Solo role played perfectly. Center of the tower, don't die, be Ornn.
Yeah.
Awesome, that worked. The entire focus was on the other side of the map. And man, Immortals showing us they still got some fight in them in the last couple of weeks.
And even though Solo wasn't emoting or anything like that, you could tell that he was happy as hell, because in those moments where it's like, okay, you just lost bot lane 2v2, you lost the turret, and now you're trying to trade Rift Herald topside and you can't even dive me. And just take a look, the confidence from IMT off of this Baron push, recognizing that Azir was going to be coming back from top lane. They did not care. And sure, they had an astronomical lead with Baron, with Sol, but it's the confidence when you're in a large losing streak like this that is nice to see, and it can rejuvenate you for the rest of the split.
And I love the fact that they ended it this early. That was my one complaint from earlier on, is again, the gold lead wasn't growing anymore, so I was a bit concerned that they might lose their way and not be able to close the game out in time. But as soon as they got that Baron, they were like, no, we're so much stronger. End the game now. Don't let them scale. Don't let it turn into a Ssumday split push nightmare game where we lose in this 1v9 scenario. They went for the throat. They got their mark. Immortals looking good here in this one. And now it's time to join Jatt and Treatz for the Verizon post-game interview.
Thank you very much, Flowers. The streak is over.
Finally.
Yeah, you broke the streak. How does it feel to pick up the first win since the first week of the split?
Yeah, I mean, it just, the losses kind of just blend together and you don't really think how many it was. Was it 10 in the end, right?
10.
So, I mean, it's really nice to get a win, obviously. I felt that we actually played pretty good this game. I think they made a lot of mistakes, which made the game pretty easy for us, but it feels nice to get a win finally.
Yeah, what do you think some of the key contributors were to being able to pick up the first win today? Since week one, third win.
No, I think in general we had a pretty aggressive comp and we actually managed to get an early game lead for once. I think a lot of games we've just been kind of losing early game, like dying to ganks or losing 2v2 or like dying on the dragons and stuff. So this time we actually got a good gank and then also the dragon. So I think when the game is kind of following the script that it's supposed to, we actually played pretty well, but we've struggled in the past. So it's nice that we finally did it.
Yeah, congratulations as well. You've been awarded player of the game.
Oh, nice.
So that's nice. And a lot of people, at least in the comments I read online, watched you on co-streams talking about North America. Now you're kind of living the North American experience. How have you paid attention to any of that conversation, or are you just trying to focus completely on League?
I mean, I've definitely seen it. I mean, obviously, when we're losing every game, it's fun to shit talk me, right? I think I deserve some of it for sure. Haven't been playing insanely well. But it's also just fun. I think it's just fun to get some more hype to LCS in general, and that's what I want to do. And if people hate me or love me, that I don't really care. I'm just here to play my best and to pick up as many wins as I can.
I love that attitude. So you are actually tied with FlyQuest now for 9th place. If you're adding hype to the LCS, what's your message? What's your building of hype for the final 5 games?
I mean, like when I came in, I was thinking getting as many wins as FlyQuest would be like a good goal to have. But maybe not anymore. So maybe we have to actually surpass them, which I didn't expect. So it's kind of rerouting my brain. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, we can easily make playoffs. We just have to actually play good. We've had so many games where we just throw them away. And I think with this one, we can actually pick up some momentum. So I'm hyped for that.
All right. Thank you very much for taking the time. 2 more games this week. Let's see what kind of noise you can make.
Yep.
And we're going to send it back to the lounge to close out the day.
Welcome back to the lounge, where me and Mark are also living the North American experience. I liked that. Fans are apparently 0-5 in predictions today.
Oh my God.
We all went 2-3.
Yeah, it was a tough day, I think, for the analysts. That was a sick game. I'm glad we did it properly before with the pregame, talking about how I said tactical. He's been doing good. Just got to get a team around him. Treatz had a much better game. Kenvi had a much better game.
Yep.
They pulled off the upset over 100 Thieves, who have been struggling, as Jatt was highlighting. So really cool.
Yep, and Treatz won player of the game for that game, but let's check out the other players of our games today. We have Chime, Gory, obviously, fantastic LeBlanc performance coming out. That was a very quick win. Palafox, APA, and Treatz.
Nice to see Treatz picking that one up. You heard him saying that he's just here to have fun. I really like Treatz' personality. He's a really funny guy. It's good to see him pick up a win. Hope they can grab some more and keep the playoff hunt interesting.
Yeah, and then APA, another Ziggs, another player of the game. So hang on a second, Mark. Production is telling me it's time for a playoffs update. So with playoffs update, with NRG's win today, C9, Evil Geniuses, and Golden Guardians actually have all locked playoffs.
All 3 into playoffs already. This is a sick split, I feel like. It's taken a little bit to really comprehend that we have three teams all tied for first right now, I believe. And then Team Liquid's just one game back.
Yep.
And then just 2 games back is TSM. And so it's just turning into a very close finish towards the end of the regular season here as these teams continue to scramble for wins.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we all expected to see C9 at the top of the standings, obviously. I think Evil Geniuses are a little bit more of a surprise, even though today they had a really rough loss. And then Golden Guardians, another team that people were really curious about. Well, they did look like they improved at MSI. Where are they at? Are they just going to come back and kind of look mediocre? No, they've also looked really good. Team Liquid Honda still doing their thing. They're in 4th right now, the classic spot. TSM in 5th. Huge surprise.
That's
to me.
Probably the biggest one. Honestly, I was talking about this a little bit on Hotline League about like, oh yeah, there's a lot of surprises, but a lot of them you could see happening in some way. Like EG, I thought they had this potential upside, not as big of a shock. TSM, I didn't think there was any way that they were going to be a top half of the league team, but Insanity and those guys are proving me wrong.
Yep, and then Dignitas and NRG are now tied down at the bottom. NRG and Dignitas play each other to kick off tomorrow, so they'll break that tiebreaker. FlyQuest versus EG. TSM, Team Liquid Honda, that's going to be a banger.
Yes.
That is actually more than any other game on here, the one I'm looking forward to the most personally. Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves, and then Immortals Progressive versus Golden Guardians to round out the day. And that is all for us on the LCS. We will be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. That's it. Have a good night, guys.
Nothing to see here.
Yep.
Throws down the Riptide, Chime and Wild Turtles both get locked. Jensen goes golden, and the root onto Tomo means he has to just take the damage as it's ditched out. 4 taken down by Dignitas. In the end, it's TSM out on top.
Yeah, they're looking.
Rell has flash.
Yeah.
Rakan TP summer.
Just Rell. He's trolling. He's just trolling. He's trolling.
Rakan here. Kill Rell first.
Rakan. I heal.
Kai'Sa is here.
Yeah.
Kai'Sa is here too.
Kai'Sa's inting.
Golden Guardian saying, go, Shelly, go!
Protect Shelly!
No, Shelly's down! But EG is going down as well with their Nexus. GG with the win. Ornn thrown by Dopa, gets a knock up onto 3. Impact with the downward pop into the back line. Palafox is attempting to make a play as well. Gets a shutdown onto Prince. Most of the damage eliminated for FlyQuest.
Piyoshik is saved by the Mikhail's Crucible, and now Fudge is ready to engage from the side. There's the flank we were talking about. That's what we were looking for, but APA has already shut him down. Liam's Respite goes out. Piyoshik is very low. APA hiding all the way back in the corner. Nicely timed with the Mega Inferno Bomb, and Piyoshik kills Blabber. Summit's coming in from behind. C9 are caught, and they're absolutely exploded. I think TL just won the game.
Wow.
Keep your eyes on Bolulu and Treatz. Those are the guys to go in. Magnet Storm to start it off. Ssumday's already dead. Quid tries to go for an outplay with a Shurima Shuffle, but it won't work. Tactical has killed Closer. Doublelift trying to do anything, fighting back against these guys. Ssumday tries to find an entry into the fight, but he's immediately killed. Nobody else is around. There's no backup. There's no way out for 100 Thieves. Closer gets killed off. Double kill for Tactical. Everybody wearing 100 Thieves colors hits the ground. And Immortals with a quadra kill for Tactical will finally end their loss streak and claim their 3rd win of Summer 2023.